Welcome. These are a few tips for you to help you improve your scores in the biology exams. Now that the CBSE has scheduled the biology exam for 16th March 2023, get set and be ready. Where do we start? Action is the foundational key to all success. Act now. One important key for success is self-confidence. An important key to self-confidence is preparation. Prepare well to gain self-confidence. Where do we start with the preparation? How do we get ready for the exam? There are two things that we need to focus on now. Preparing for the exam before the date, presenting the paper during the exam. What does the preparation involve? We need to know what is going to be tested. The biology syllabus prescribed by the CBSE is already familiar. I think all of you are familiar with that. The link that is given here with will take you to the syllabus. Now this syllabus, I'll just show it to you in a moment, has all the units and the marks allotted. You can see the unit-wise distribution of marks and the topics that are included in the syllabus. So when you're preparing for the exam, when you're studying for the exam, make sure that the syllabus is also kept alongside so that you can have like a checklist to see whether you have revised the particular topic. Each subtopic here is a potential question in the CBSE exam. For example, you could get a question for define apomixis, define parthenocopy, what is the difference between parthenocopy and apomixis. So this is like a checklist for you to see whether your revision is complete. What else does the syllabus tell you? It talks about the unit-wise distribution of marks. Now, how can you gain from this knowledge? You can see that the unit 7 has got the maximum distribution compared to unit 8 and 10. So when you see further, the syllabus, you get the 3 chapters are allotted in unit 6, the 3 chapters allotted in unit 7. Unit 8 has got 2 chapters, unit 9 with 2 chapters, and unit 10 3 chapters. See the marks allotted for these chapters. Unit 8 and 10 are relatively simpler units in the sense the concepts are more direct. And you need to decide where you start your revision, whether you need to complete the easier topics and then go on to the comparatively difficult topics. But make sure that you complete all these topics. Now when you revise for unit 6, there are so many diagrams in this unit. Make sure that you are thorough with all the diagrams, the captions given below the diagrams, and also the labels of all the diagrams. Now what is the resource that you have with you? You have your NCERT biology text, the English version if you're writing in English, the Hindi version if you're writing in Hindi. You could use the Hindi version in case you are fluent in Hindi to clarify any content in the English text and vice versa. Second, you have the biology supplementary material, which is also prescribed by the CBSE, the link of which is given below. This has the additional content which may not be there in the older versions of the NCERT textbook. Make sure that you read the textbook thoroughly so that you become familiar with the words in the textbook, the terms used in the textbook, so that when the questions are asked, you can immediately relate to that particular content in the book. The third thing that we have as a resource material is your KVS student support material, which has been made for you. It has got all types of questions, the CBSE pattern. It has got sample question papers with answers. It also has got previous question papers and diagrams for all the chapters. It has got terms separately defined. So make use of the student support material as an additional resource. And lastly, not the least, you have sample questions, practice questions given by the CBSE as well as the KVS in the pre-board exams and in the support material. Use these practice questions to rehearse an exam. When I say rehearse, means 3 hours you need to be practicing that question as in real exam scenario where you allot 3 hours and complete the question paper. So these practice questions could also be used effectively to improve your performance. Coming to the presentation of answers during exams. The first 15 minutes is the cooling time or reading time that is allotted. You know that the question paper has section A consisting of 16 MCQs, multiple choice questions, section B, short answers of 2 marks, section C, short answers of 3 marks, section D, case-based 4 marks question, and section E has long answers of 5 marks. Let's talk about section A, MCQ. How do you go about reading the MCQ? A multiple choice question. Read the question in such a way that you identify the key words in the question. For example, the key words in the question here, percentage of cytosine is what is asked. So when you see the key word, this is what is being asked of you. Think of the answer and then go to the option and see whether the option is there or not. Remember, read the question at least twice to identify what is being asked in the question and use the data given in the question to come to your answer. An assertion reason type questions, this is how the pattern is. You have an assertion statement and a reason statement, and if both the statements are right or correct, then the option could be A or B. If one of the statements is wrong or not true, the option could be C or D. So if you see a question like in this one example, assertion statement says it is a stable population. The diagram that is shown here shows a stable population. The reason statement says the pre-reproductive and reproductive individuals are almost in equal numbers. So both the statements appear to be right. Now we need to say whether it is A or B, because you have decided both statements are right, then the option is either A or B. Now whether it is A, how do you confirm that? Try to see whether reason is an explanation for A. So how do you do that? Let's try reading it this way. Assertion statement, it is a stable population because the pre-reproductive and reproductive individuals are almost equal in numbers. Does it make sense? Does the reason seem to be an explanation of A? Then go with A. That is option A. If we read because and you don't see any sense in that statement, then B, the reason is not the explanation for A. So let's take an example here. So here this assertion statement says, besides curdling of milk, LAB increases its nutritional quality by increasing vitamin B12. Right? Correct. LAB when present in human stomach, check disease causing microbes. Correct. So both statements are correct. So it should be option A or B. Now whether there is a connection between the two, let us read by. Besides curdling of milk, LAB increases nutritional quality by increasing vitamin B12 because LAB when present in the human stomach, check disease causing microbes. Doesn't seem like an explanation to the assertion statement, and hence the option is B. Now if the two statements, any one is wrong or not true, then your option should be C or D. Like in this example, apomixis and parthenocopy are both asexual modes of reproduction is right, because both these are happening without fertilization. Reason given is seeds are not produced in both apomixis and parthenocopy. This is a statement is wrong because in apomixis you have seeds without fertilization, whereas in parthenocopy no seeds but no fertilization. So the second reason statement is wrong, and hence the option is C in this case. So this is how you eliminate the wrong options and come to the right option. Now what are short answer questions? It could be in section B, 2-mark questions, and section C, 3-mark questions. How do you attempt these questions? Write point-wise instead of paragraphs, because when you write in paragraphs, the key points could be missed out. Write point-wise with short phrases is enough, so that at least 2 to 4 points for a 2-mark question, depending on what the question is. And for a 3-mark question, 3 to 6 points. Use label diagrams to support your answer wherever possible in the sense, even if it is not asked in the question. If your diagram is well labeled and valid to the question, you will get the mark for the answer. What are case-based questions? You have got section D with 2 case-based questions. Each case-based question will have 3 sub-questions, A, B and C, where the C question or the third question will have an option. So the option is only for the third question C and not for the entire thing. So you have to attempt A, B and C separately. See the distribution of mark. The C question carries 2 marks and hence point wise again you need to give at least 2 to 4 correct points. Section E, long answers. There are 5 mark questions, 3 questions. Each question has an option. So again, write point wise, 5 to 10 points. Each point could carry half a mark or 1 mark depending on what the question is. Use label diagrams because 5 mark questions will most probably have diagrams which you can supplement with your answer even if it is not specified in the question. Then choose the option wisely. Any one of the options which you are choosing to write, read the questions and see whether you are able to answer the maximum sub questions. Choose that one, and once you have chosen it, stick to the choice. Remember to again write the sub questions separately. Here are some general reminders. I'll just share with you a question, one of the model answers before I talk about the general reminders. See one of the questions here, a 2 mark question, where you find section A, B and C written separately. Here you find a 5 mark question, diagram, labeling, and each step has been labeled separately. So the steps are written separately. It's like a flow chart. See how this paper has been written? The MCQs, you write the correct option and also the answer. A line is left between 2 answers, so there's more clarity. You can see how the numbering has been done correctly in order, in sequence, and the options also written clearly without any cutting. Even if you want to strike it off, write again clearly, do not overwrite and leave a space or line between 2 answers. See how a 2 mark question with the sub questions are written here. The A and B, C part are written separately. See, when you're starting a new section, you write that section B and then between 2 sub questions leave a line. See this question also here, where the key words are underlined. See the labeling that is done for the diagram to one side, neatly labeled with the heading or caption for the question. When such a comparison is asked, you can see how 2 columns are made and the point-wise answers are written here. So this is how you can actually impress the examiner or evaluator by writing or presenting your answers correctly. Now the general reminders. Attempt all questions no matter what. Every question need to be attempted and make sure that you write the question number in sequence. Answer all the questions of one section before moving on to the next, because that will give you more clarity whether you have completed the section or not. You may miss out on any one question. Like I told you earlier, leave one line between 2 answers, label diagrams neatly. You could use flow charts and short phrases instead of long sentences and paragraphs. Underline keywords in the answers if you are writing in paragraphs. And remember to give sufficient time for the long answers, because that is where you have to be thinking and writing the maximum, because they carry the maximum marks. So if you think that you want to start off with section D, where you can give enough time, ample time for thinking and writing, we start off with section D, but complete the section, only then move on to the next one. You could also write the numbers of MCQ questions 1 to 16 and may attempt it later. But remember to always write in sequence to create a neat presentation. Children, a little progress each day adds up to big results. So start now. Push yourself because no one else can do it for you. Only you can. And start today. Thank you. All the best for your coming examination.